Hello campers, and welcome back to another adventure into the world of Redstone with the Redstone Camper. Today we're going to feature the level 2 version of my NPC conversation computer in this particular version, and we have two options to choose from. So you've got one prompt, then you respond, and then another prompt and another type of response. So we'll get straight into this one today. So this is the 2 option device. So as you can see, it's quite larger in comparison to the version 1 device which we featured yesterday, which is over there. So you can see that there is quite a large difference when you try to increase the number of options. The main things that inhibit this is the fact you actually have to have like a selecting system, so a multiplexer, for those of you technologically minded, and that's this yellow device here, and all it does is after you go through one conversation, it then swaps and moves to the next one. So to see the device in action, what we're going to do is going to hit essentially the line 1 prompt. It says, "Hello there, how are you?" So then we can respond in one of two ways. We can either hit the green button or the red button. So I hit green. I am well, thanks for asking. Now what it's done is the multiplexer swap. So when I hit this button again, we're going to get a different prompt. Is there anything I can help you with? So now you got, once again, you got the two options. So we can go green. How often should I make Minecraft videos? And then it responds with, "I wouldn't know, ask the viewers." Now that's another feature which you can add into any of my devices, is the fact that you can actually have multiple lines come back at you as a response. So I might show you that later. So we'll get straight into building this. Okay, so to build the level 2 conversation computer, what you're going to need is a 7x4 wall. So this wall already goes 2 deep, similar like it was in the last build. Then behind that you're going to need a 7 long by 7 wide pit that is 2 blocks deep below essentially ground level. Then on the far side closest to your front left hand wall, what you're going to need is a trough that goes down 1 extra block going along the entire length, and then 1 block more just past the wall. Then also in this corner you're going to need a 3x3 pit, which is at the same depth as the majority of this pit. So in order to build this, what we're going to do to start off with is we're going to put in our 3 buttons. Button, button, button. Now you can also put in your reset button, which you can hide down here, so that if you ever needed to reset the device manually, you've got it hidden for a start, and then if you're an admin or something on your server, you can go up to it and reset it. So once you've placed the buttons, what you're going to do is you're going to jump around to the other side. You're going to take away these blocks, like in the other builds, and place down some redstone. So the redstone goes all the way to here, where you're then going to place purple, purple, and purple. Put a redstone torch there, and purple block there. So now what you're going to do is you're going to place in 2 pistons here that will form part of the AND gate. See if you've pressed the purple button already. So you're going to put down your red block, and then your green blocks. Put in your repeaters, and cover the top of here with redstone. Then below here you're going to take this redstone, move it out this way, and then feed the pistons. Now because of the way that we've currently got this set up, it's going to say that it's on, because we haven't set up this RS NOR latch yet, because we're still missing a block. So what you're going to need to do here is you're going to have to put redstone, redstone, redstone all along the edge here, and fill that block with whatever your ground is going to be, and put a repeater in, and then redstone all the way over here. So that will become apparent of what that's for later. And then here, as you can see, we've got crosstalk, so you just need to cover it up. And then in this gap, we need to put a piece of glowstone. Now the reason we want to use glowstone is so that that is still connected through there and out the other side. Is glowstone is considered a glass block, so redstone will travel, well, essentially underneath it, but it will not travel down, because we've got 2 solid blocks on either side here. Make sure that is not glass or any other material like that, otherwise the signal will get confused. And then we put a piece of redstone there. So now our RS NOR latch is complete. You can go around, you can press your reset button if you put it in to restore it to its proper state. And you'll notice even though that's powered, all of this isn't. So essentially what we've done here is we've allowed that button, which is our reset, to connect underneath this block, go all the way across here, and then out in this direction over to there. So the next step is to put in your pulse shorteners. So we're going to put a green block here, then going to put in our piston, green block, green block, green, green, oops, green and green. You're going to do the same for red. So red comes out twice to the side here, then nothing there, piston, red block, red, red, red and red. So now we're going to join that up, so redstone there. I'm going to put in our repeater, and repeater, and more repeaters. So these ones will feed into our multiplexer, to use the correct term. So that's essentially the two green and red circuits, and then up here in this block here is where you place your command blocks with your instructions. So the next step we're going to do is we're going to complete purple circuit. So once again we're going to put in another pulse shortener and then put the same ends on as the other ones. So that's essentially majority of the circuit done. So now what you need to do is you need to do your multiplexing circuit. So you press it, put in a piston there, block, block, piston, block, block, piston, block, block, and then take out every second block, and then cover the top with blocks until you get to the overhang here, where you then go down to this level. And then we're going to cover the top with redstone. You're going to drop down in under here, put in a block there. You're going to put a redstone torch. You can hear that all ticked away. Another redstone torch, retract it all. So there's another RS NOR latch. Put in a block here, cover it with redstone, and then we're going to go that way. So now what you want to do is you want to probably just dig down here to give yourself some room. So now what you got to do is you're going to have to take your signal from over there, which we'll go around and do in a moment. We're going to feed it into this piston, which will then have a block attached to it. Go towards it, and then take it from the signal over there. Put in a repeater on 4 ticks. Then what we're going to do is go around the other side of this piston here, place in another repeater with 3 ticks. Correction, 4 ticks. So now what you've got is you've got this circuit also powering this piston, which will then go through and allow this signal to pass through it, which will then allow this to turn on. And lastly, in order to get the RS NOR latch to work, you can put in a 4-tick repeater there. And the circuit is pretty much done. And now we need to put in our command blocks over the side here. So I'm going to put in our 2 blocks, 2 blocks, and 2 blocks. Now what you can do is if you want to have multiple responses like I did over in the other circuit, you'd take away one of these command blocks and instead replace it with a repeater. And then have your command block, repeater, command block, and repeater, however long you want. Now The thing about this is because this block is powered, you can then take power out of it using another repeater, or you can just have a piece of redstone, but I find that repeaters work much more reliably. And then you just have whatever your first line is, and then you probably want this on a 4-tick delay, and then your second line. And the other thing you can do is on the other side, in order to improve the timing, is you can take that away and replace it with redstone. If in the case you have two parallel versions of this, it becomes more difficult because you're going to have the two pieces of redstone here talking if you did that. So you're going to have to find a compromise when you want to do a situation like that. So what you can do is you can go over here. So this will be your first prompt. As you can tell, I have no clue what I'm actually making them say. I'm just making it up as I go along. So then when we go over here, we hit our little reset, just in case. So what you can do is you can have that reset actually visible if you want them to be. And then you just say hit reset first. Then we can hit our first button, which comes saying first. Then we hit our first response, which is wrong. Can't hit the button again because it's blocked off. Hit the button, it says second. Hit the button again, apples and bananas. Now if we go to reset this, what you need to check is to see when you press this button, do you hear any pistons? Because the point of this block here is to prevent your multiplexer swapping when you haven't pressed the purple button first. So that's kind of a requirement. If you didn't have that, you'd hear this tick over, which would then mean that instead of getting the first response ever, you could just skip to the second, which is probably bad depending on your adventure maps. So incorporating that into your circuits is often good. So this has been another tutorial by the TheRedstoneCamper, also known as MindMadness45. This is the level 2 NPC conversation computer, so you can put your NPC out the front and you can have your players talk to them. So this relies on the 1.4 command blocks, which you can use in a quite a wide variety of situations. You can find other situations where you'd use them on my channel. Part 3 of this should follow quite soon. I expect to have it recorded within the next 2 days or so, probably even tonight, depending on timing. So if you're interested in seeing more of this, the next one will be where you have essentially an infinitesimal number of these options. So you can have as many conversations as space permits, so they go quite along. So this circuit looks similar to this one over here. So this is the circuit we did today, and then this is the circuit we hit tomorrow, where this entire midsection is repeatable. And then the last one we'll get to after this one. So if you're keen to watch out for that one, subscribe to my channel, comment, rate, like this video as you wish. But don't forget, have fun camping.